In a world of constant change and innovation, trust is key, knowledge is power, and the inside track is everything. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host, Bruce Whitfield.
And getting an inside track today on primarily the rental market. We know sales are in something of a funk, but what about rentals? Rentals certainly seem to be very attractive. We're seeing rental rates begin to reduce. We're seeing deals being done. And so perhaps it is the time for, in this particular cycle, for rental property. Let's talk today to Makhosini Ndlovu from FNB and also to the property economist at FNB, John Loos, both with us today. John, quick overview. Property rental market, give us a taste.
Well, Bruce, it suffered a bit during the lockdowns. The tenant population in 2020 took quite a financial hammering. So if you look at TPN's data of tenants in good standing, that dipped from somewhere up above 80% to, it went down to just above 70% of tenants in good standing. But has recovered out of there quite nicely. In the most recent quarter of TPN's data was back up to about 82%. So that's good. The rental inflation became rental deflation for a while, has started to recover as well. Still low, somewhere around about 1.8%, if my memory serves me correctly, year on year, but gone back into positive territory, going the right way. And then vacancy rates also peaked last year at a stage about 13%, now down to about 8.5%. So it took a pounding. Not surprisingly, I guess, not only did tenants lose money, but there was a surge in home buying. So a group of aspirant buyers who were tenants went into the buying market when rates got cut in 2020. That's also reversing now, home buying slowing because rates are rising and rental market benefiting a bit from that. So it's on the strengthening path, but I wouldn't call it strong yet. It's still improving out of quite a big dip.
We're not quite back in a buy-to-let environment where we were seeing people paying stupid prices, for example, in downtown Cape Town to get funky loft apartments and stuff, to Airbnb them, and people retiring from their jobs and running their 5-property empire and making beds in the morning and changing sheets at night and putting the towels out for the tenants. And it was lekker while it lasted. And then, of course, COVID happened, and that ruined that particular market. I wonder whether or not you see any going back there.
Well, yeah, there's not this big surge in buy-to-let buying at the moment. I think if one looks at our residential market surveys from FNB Homelands, I think buy-to-let buying as a percentage of total buying was down at 6%, which is a very low number. So it's not those boom years of property, the bubble years prior to 2008, which is also a good thing. So I don't think there's sort of signs at the moment of big oversupplies of rental property brewing. To the contrary, with vacancy rates going down and probably not a lot of buy-to-let buying, is the supply-demand situation is getting healthier in the rental market.
So, Makhosini Ndlovu, what's happening in terms of rental stock on the market? What is the picture as far as you're seeing it?
So, Bruce, I agree with John. I think we have started seeing a recovery in that market. But if one had to put it into 3 bands, I think where the opportunities lie is what you call the sweet spot market. That is a market where the rentals are between 6,000 and 12,000. In that market, I think we've seen an increase in terms of collections, and also the vacancies, we've seen them going down in that space. Then when you look at your bottom end, which is influenced by and large by your blue-collar employees, guys in the restaurants, guys in the manufacturing industry, I think a lot of those have taken a beating, so that market is lagging a bit behind. And then your top end as well, that is between 12,000 up to 25,000. I think we've seen also a recovery in that market. So if you look at your top two bands, I think definitely that market has remained buoyant, and we've seen a lot of recovery. But if you had also to look at the overall market, I think the increase in the interest rates definitely will have an influence, in terms of the rental market. There's always an inverse relationship in the sense that your first-time home buyers, won't qualify, for bonds. Also, your existing, home owners, some of them, as the interest rates could go up, they won't be able to qualify for the bonds, and some guys would tend to downgrade. So in my view, I think as we move forward, definitely, I think the rental market will see a lot of increase in activity in that space.
My thanks to Makhosini Ndlovu and to John Loos, both from FNB. This conversation is going to go on for a while. So let's hit pause for a moment, take a bit of a breather, and bring you part two in a bit.